Oh, we're live.
Oh, good.
Good to know. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first ever live.
Yeah, and our first mermaid party in about a year, I think.
I was going to say, not our first mermaid party. We've done this before.
Yeah.
You don't have these cupcake molds just lying around generally.
No.
Generally, you've done this thing a time or two.
Yes.
And did you notice I put on I don't have any mermaid rings, guys, which is tragic, obviously, but I'm wearing my shark ring. Which I got, I think, at my mermaid birthday party.
Maybe.
From Jana.
That would make sense.
Case Spader. I love it. So I'm wearing my shark ring to go with the theme.
Good job.
Here's our jellyfish behind us.
Yeah,
strung professionally. If they all come crashing down, he did it.
Hopefully we'll hear the tape giving a little bit before it actually falls.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, so what were we going to talk about today, Sean?
Are we going to talk about the movie Mermaids?
The movie Mermaids.
Oh, yes.
My gosh, I love the movie Mermaids.
Yes.
Yes, and I think it is... Oh, hi, Skill Cuisine. Thank you so much for being here. Nice to see you. We love the Mermaid. Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say we on that.
You can say we. It's a good movie.
Hi, Queen of Hearts. Love you. It's a good movie. It is the Cher movie. The Cher movie from 1990. So it's an old one. It's a bit of a classic, let's say.
It is. And it's not just Cher.
Hi, Turner. It's not just Cher. It is Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci in her first ever movie role.
I didn't realize that was her first ever.
Yeah, well, she's like 7 or 8.
Oh, she's tiny, but she's got a lot of movies as a kid.
Thank you. It was. I think this is my most mermaidy dress.
I go with that. Yeah. You have some with sparkles on them.
We're in Canada. We're in the capital of Canada, Ottawa. And it did not snow today.
There's snow on the ground.
But there is still some in our backyard. Thank you. My hair is actually fading. You may remember at the beginning of this quarantine, it was purple. And it is getting increasingly less purple. You see more purple at the roots, and then it's like pink the rest of the way.
Kind of mermaid.
So our next live is going to be Sean giving me an at-home haircut.
Are you sure you want that on the internet?
Well, it's going to end up on there one way or another. I will be sporting the look on my head for months to come. It's very exciting. But anyways, we were talking about my favorite Cher movie, Mermaids. So it came out in 1990, and it's set in 1963. And so it's a fun period film. And Cher is Mrs. Flax, the mother of the group. Hello, Kimmy. Nice to stop by. We appreciate it.
That's what her kids call her.
Yeah, everybody calls her Mrs. Flax. Reason. Her name is Rachel, but everybody calls her Mrs. Flax. And I think it just kind of to remind us that, in fact, there is no husband in this home. It is just her and her 2 girls, her mermaids. So obviously this movie was always going to speak to me since I grew up with a single mother and I have 3 sisters. So take that, Mrs. Flax. We had 5 ladies at our house. But they're a really cute family who seem like they don't belong together. Which, yes. I mean, like different. My family. Yeah. So Cher, of course, is the sexy mother that no kid really wants to have, the sexy mother. Oh, thank you. Well, no, you don't want to have the sexy mother.
No.
Nobody wants to have the sexy mother. Especially not Charlotte, who is played by Winona Ryder, because even though her family is Jewish, she is attracted to Catholicism. She is really into the lives of saints. I don't know where she got this. Like, this is her obsession. Her teenage obsession is religion. And she obsesses about there's a convent in the new place where they have just moved in. Oh, Skill Cuisine is asking, what is your favorite color?
My favorite color, I guess, is going to be blue today.
Well, blue today. Hi, Jen. I think mine is purple. That's what I usually say. I mean, the thing is, I just love color. It's very hard. I am terrible at saying what my favorite anything is.
Yes.
If you give me a top 10, I will have probably 87 inch. Like, I'm so bad at narrowing stuff down. I have a lot of loves, and I really do love every color in every shade.
Sure.
I think we have probably a room in our house that is in every color. Hi, Bob. Oh, it's so good to see you. Yeah, almost every color.
A lot of colors.
A lot of colors. Actually, it's more tame in here. We did we have like an open concept kitchen, dining room, living room. And right now it's in tones of gray. It used to be like green.
Bright green.
It used to be very green.
Yeah.
Which I loved. And this is such a big space. And Sean like painted everything green, but it was a grassy green and I wanted an apple green. So he had to redo the whole thing just like one shade down.
But it was better.
It was better. It makes a difference. Always listen to your wife. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, and it was only the first color.
Yes. And so it was just a nice primer, you might say.
You might say.
Poor Sean is always redoing stuff for me. Hello, the Lady Vamp. Nice to see you. So yes, we have had a color of a room of every color.
Pretty
and
much.
Then we changed them because when we first had stuff gray and white, we had saffron yellow as our accent color, and now we've changed it to pink. Because, I mean, gray and soft pink are very nice together.
Yeah, they are. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yes. So we were talking about the movie Mermaids, guys. I hope everyone has seen it. If you haven't, you have to track it down for me. Hello, little makeup channel. Nice to see you. It's a movie from 1990 called Mermaids, and it stars Cher. And her daughter, Charlotte, played by Winona Ryder, does call her the town tramp.
Yeah.
And I suspect lots of the other mothers also call her that behind her back, if not to her face. I mean, they're a little skeptical of her. But of course, the men all adore her. And she is a bit of a dater. She dates around. She wears makeup and high heels. It's so scandalous. And like I said, Charlotte is like super into religion for no apparent reason, but she loves religion. Hello, Ray. Nice to see you. And then the youngest, Kate, who is played by Christina Ricci in her first ever role, she is a swimmer. It is rumored that her father was an Olympian, but nobody even got his name, so it really can't be confirmed. Sure. But these three, I just love them so much. It reminded me of my house growing up. And just how they're always singing and dancing around. They're so close, and then they fight.
Because they're so close.
Yes. See, Jen loves it too. Thank you. I feel like I'm the only one, but I friggin' love that movie. It's so much fun. One? Well, I know I make you watch it all the time too.
Yeah, but I had heard of it before.
Oh, you have heard of it.
I heard it was a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's so sweet. And I love Mrs. Flax. She only ever cooks finger foods. She only does hors d'oeuvres. Anything more than that is too much commitment. Oh my God, I love it so much. I mean, that was basically us growing up because
I didn't want to say it.
Thank you. My mom's a terrible cook. I mean, she
has her things.
Yeah, she has a couple of things, but she's not good. We are talking about the movie Mermaids. It stars Cher, and it's from 1990. And I'm telling everybody to go out and see it because it's so cute. It's a good time to look up some old movies that you may not have seen the first time around.
You probably have been going through your stores. We have our reserves.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that is why Sean is wearing his mermaid hat, and I'm wearing my shirt ring. Yes, and we have our jellyfish, and mermaid cupcakes. And mermaid cups.
Mermaid water.
Mermaid water. That's probably gross.
Could be.
I'm not sure we want mermaid water. But yes, Mrs. Flax only would make finger foods because a main course was too much commitment. And that my mom didn't think a main course was too much commitment, but it was beyond her abilities. In the very early days when my father was somewhat around, he was a meat and potatoes guy, but we were never meat and potatoes girls. Thank you, Kimmy. Yes, we do. I am extra. There's no other way. There's no polite way to say it. Hello, nails and makeup. There's no nice way to say it. I do see my little napkins, our cutlery.
There's shells on it.
Yeah.
You made all this.
Yes, I did. Because this is not our first mermaid party, guys. I know, it's a lot. And actually, our nephews were just asking what kind of party we would have this summer. They were. So we have had unicorn. Hello, Chico. We've had unicorn. We've had mermaid. We've had rainbows. Last summer, we had an ice cream social. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they didn't remember that theme because they seem to think we just did animals. And I didn't really want to break it to them that unicorns and mermaids are not real animals. Hello to you. Good morning to you. It is still evening for us. But yeah, so I love mermaids. I loved The Little Mermaid growing up. Yeah, in fact, we thought we had discovered The Little Mermaid. It turns out that movie is older than we ever knew. But, I also thought we discovered peanut butter. I thought peanut butter was a brand new thing when we were kids. And I was so shocked that my mom was like, no, I ate that growing up too. And I was like, oh. Yeah, disappointing. Really? But, kids of a very young age, you don't give them peanut butter at first in case they have allergies. Oh, right. So you wait a little bit. And then my mom was always pregnant. I have a sister every 2 years. So every 2 years, we had to restart the peanut thing again. So I was probably 6 or 7 before I had peanut butter for the first time. And I thought somebody had just invented peanut butter. And what a wonderful thing it is.
It is a wonderful thing.
Life-changing.
I don't think I could have survived till 6 or 7 without peanut butter.
Yeah, well, Jana, my youngest sister, certainly couldn't. She was a super picky eater. She only ate 2 things: peanut butter toast, would not eat a peanut butter sandwich to save her life, and wieners, not hot dogs. She's not interested in buns. That's all she ate. And the pediatrician's like, well, she's getting her essential nutrients. And we were like, that's not the pyramid we remember. No. But anyways, she's still with us. She doesn't have any major deficiencies.
Yeah, so she seems like she got her vitamins.
And she is branched out a little more. So thank goodness. Although when she went away to a summer camp when she was maybe 12 or 13, and the only thing she ate all that week was celery. They didn't even have peanut butter.
How did they not have peanut butter?
Well, they probably had sandwiches, but not toast.
Oh, she went on toast.
She only ate toast. She would not eat a sandwich. Oh. She was not into the untoasted bread. Yeah. Wow. It was rough.
That would be rough.
Yeah. But so did she eat up Cher's alley.
On the celery? It is right up Cher's alley.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I just heard about it afterwards. It was a terrific diet. Just be so fussy. There's nothing else you'll eat. So yes, I think that is right up Mrs. Flax's alley. She is a mother who will only kick, she's got marshmallow and fruit kebabs.
Yes.
And all of her sandwiches are cookie cuttered with a star. So there's never any crusts. And my mom didn't make beautiful things, but she was a terrible cook. And so we had just a very few things. We have a grocery chain here called M&M Meat Shop. I don't know where else in the world if it's just a Canadian thing, but they sell prepackaged foods.
Freezer everything.
Yes.
Just throw it in the oven.
And it's higher quality than other grocery chains, but
make in 20 minutes.
Yes, exactly. So we definitely could subsist on just finger foods. Oh, look, her daughter's 27. It's still, yeah, it's a thing.
I eat so many sandwiches. I don't know. You do.
Sean
crust and all.
Is the crazy kind of person who can eat the same thing every day for 5 years and not longer. Or his whole entire life. I'm not like that. I need variety. But my family is kind of a fussy family.
Yeah, you all have your things.
I don't have a thing.
No, but everyone else does. Whether it's not eating beef or not eating anything creamy.
Oh God, that's Jess. Jess will not eat anything. She hates mayonnaise, sour cream, and cream cheese, and anything that she thinks might be those things, anything that looks the same consistency. She does manage to eat yogurt, which I find a little surprising and a little hypocritical. She can make exceptions when she really wants to.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's very hard to feed my family because you have to remember everybody's weird likes and dislikes.
Yeah, you do.
My sister Jana, the one who wouldn't eat sandwiches, still will not eat mashed potatoes. And her justification for not liking mashed potatoes is that she doesn't like the way it feels between your toes. So if you think she's been eating them wrong, you're not wrong, I think. I don't know what she's doing with those mashed potatoes, but they bother her.
They do.
Mm-hmm. And so it wouldn't be a problem if you lived in Cher's house.
That's right. All appetizers all
they
the
have
time.
all appetizers all the time. You never have to mess around with mashed potatoes.
You can just stick with the marshmallows.
That's right. And it's easy cleanup. I mean, I do get what she's saying about the other food being kind of a commitment.
Yeah.
You know, it's longer prep. Oh my gosh. That's a good question, Ray. I think we are going to have to put out more movie lists. We had put out one originally for Netflix, but I think we're going to do Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and get all those movies out there because there are some fun ones. And I actually have a list going for offbeat comedies.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Yes. I like weird movies though, guys. Just
they're not that weird.
They're a little bit weird.
They're good though.
They're good. Just like this one. Oh, thank you, Queen of Hearts. Yes. Just like this weird movie, Mermaids, which so many people haven't seen, and I think it's so underrated. And I love Cher as an actress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was controversial at the time.
No, it wasn't. She was Oscar nominated for Moonstruck, and that was in '87. Yeah. So she was coming off that big high. Hello, Brian. We're good and safe up here, but it's still cold.
Yes.
You know what? We had a super nice day, and this is how it always happens in Canada. You have one nice spring day, and like a nice spring day means it's barely above freezing, and everybody's walking around in shorts. They open up the patios. Like, we're so desperate to get away from our long winter. So we had that one day like 10 days ago, and then since then we've had more snow, and it's terrible. You watched a Christmas movie last night. Oh, Noel. Yeah, that's like the Disney Plus one with Anne and Kendrick, right? Yeah, we saw that back when it came out. It's actually, it is nice to find a Christmas movie that, because so many of them like are so cliched and they just recycle the same story a lot. Mm-hmm. So that one was kind of a fun one. But I wish we would have seen more of her brother in it. Because I think he doesn't want to be Santa, so he disappears and she has to go looking for him.
That's right. So
I think we should have seen more from him. But I did like it that in the end, finally, she could...
Equal rights.
Yeah, equal rights. You never know when a Christmas movie's going to turn political, but there you go. And these were such hard times that we're even willing to watch Christmas movies, even though it is now April. But I mean, it's still snowing here, so who knows? Fighting with Family. Actually, I have not seen that yet, but we keep meaning to.
Yes.
The very lovely Florence Pugh is in that movie, which we discovered only, I didn't know that originally.
I didn't know who she was at the time.
Well, yeah, but we saw, what's that called? Little Women around Christmas with my sister. And my sister was like, is that the same girl from Fighting with My Family? And yes, it is. Florence Pugh is exceptional. We saw her in Midsommar, but she's in a lot of stuff. She is obviously an actress with a lot of range. So she's one to keep an eye out for. She's the new generation, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to hear a lot from her.
I hope so.
Although I was thinking of watching that movie, Fighting with My Family, because we've been on kind of a wrestling kick. There's been an uptick in wrestling movies recently. So that needs to get on the list. You remember.
WWE is an essential service.
Don't get me started. Mm-hmm. Yes. So Mermaids is one that I, of course, really love. Yeah, Little Women is pretty good, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is a good one. It's a good one.
Just like Mermaids.
Just like Mermaids.
All these lady movies.
They're not lady movies. But you know what? I saw this a YouTube video, and I think it was from Vanity Fair of Florence Pugh, and she was eating traditional English food. And by traditional English food, I mean pretty gross English food. And she knew what most of them were supposed to be, but I think like, you know, the chefs preparing it were either a little too fancy or a little too American. They weren't quite what she expected. But I think like she is such delight. You should check that out if you like Florence Pugh. She is fun to watch. Even though I was a little disappointed that she's dating Zach Braff.
You were, yeah. It is weird.
It's weird, but I think like we are going to discover a lot of weird couples coming into this.
Just got stuck
People
together.
are quarantining together. And so, yeah. Good morning to you. It is almost 9:30 at night here. So we're just having a mermaid party.
Because you do.
Yeah. I don't know if you could tilt it so they can see the
The
seahorse in the back. Oh, there they are. That's nice. You are. You and your stupid big body. Hi, Nick. Yes. Please go ahead and have your cupcake, by the way. You don't have
thanks.
To wait
yeah. Just enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So I was talking about, hello, hi, Bella. That's good. Horror and sci-fi. Well, we definitely we'll work on a list for that. I mean,
it's gonna be a tough one for Jag.
Yeah. Well, less so. I think even like horror sci-fi hybrids are more and more like popular now. I think that is a really interesting crossover. And I think like movies like The Platform, like that's kind of in the genre. Yes, but I am kind of a big chicken, guys. I don't know if you heard that about me, yes, but I am a super big chicken.
But you still watch them.
I do. I try to watch all the really good ones that people are saying are worthwhile, but it is so hard for me. Bye, Jen. Thanks for dropping in. What did you just say to me?
Grit your teeth?
I grit my teeth. I do not grit my teeth. Look at these chompers. They're lovely.
They are lovely.
Yes, I'm sorry. We will send them to you if we could. Believe me. I always make too much food. And I didn't even make like a whole recipe of this. I made just a half recipe.
Really good.
Well, they should be. It was a new recipe for like a super moist chocolate cake.
And they are.
Do you need another napkin here?
I think I do.
Here, there you go.
Thank you.
You can dress them up, but you can't take them out. No, that is a lie. First of all, we're not out. And second of all, you can't dress them up either. Sean is very resistant to looking nice.
Yeah. I don't go very far in my closet. I have lots of nice clothes.
Yes, I buy you lots of nice clothes, and then you wear the same 5 things. Yes, you're so terrible.
They're just right there.
So Nick thinks you inhaled that cupcake.
Oh, I do that. Yes.
Yes, that is Sean's default method of eating.
It is.
Yeah. Usually he's going for seconds, and I have barely cut into my chicken yet.
Yep. It's true. Yes.
Well, it comes in handy when you can finish up my plate, but I get kind of testy when you won't finish mine.
When has that ever happened?
Well, it did happen once. I remember being very shocked. Yeah, we were at a restaurant, and I was like, "Can you finish mine?" And you're like, "No, no." And I was like, "Well, what good are you then?"
I don't know.
Did you even eat the tail?
Yeah, I ate the tail.
Okay.
All done.
You did it.
I did. I ate the tail first.
Yes. Well, I grew up I have 3 sisters, and we grew up with a single mom. So we were 5 ladies in my house. But Sean
had 2 brothers and a sister.
Yeah. So we were both the oldest of 4, but he had brothers, and they're not quite as big as he is, but almost. They're bigger than the average bear.
Yeah.
So Sean is 6'6". His little brother is 6'5", and his even littler brother is 6'3". Yeah. So Sean's poor mom would never get away with cooking finger foods.
No, we ate well.
You ate in bulk.
Yes, we did. Oh yeah, we'd have 2 shopping carts of groceries every week. And do it all over again.
Put it away somewhere.
Yeah, we did.
I can't imagine like having to feed
I know.
All of you boys.
Well, and we were playing sports and like eating 5 times a day, and we had like cases of Eggo waffles in the freezer downstairs, and I would eat those when I got home. Just like have 4 Eggo waffles, just at 4
Eggo. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then have dinner at 6.
I know. I mean, every time we're cooking dinner,
that.
Sean's like, "I'm hungry. We should get cooking," and I'm like, "All right." But the first thing he does every time we cook is get a snack. He snacks while we're cooking dinner. Oh. What a guy. Yes. So Sean learned to eat very quickly as a kid because he had other brothers. And
it's a race.
if you wanted to get seconds or thirds, you had to get there quickly. And I am actually a very slow eater. You might guess that I talk a lot. So yeah, it goes badly. It goes very badly for us. We don't match.
It works.
I mean, it does, because you're done and you can help me eat mine.
Exactly.
But I always feel pressure, especially in a restaurant, because they want to clear your plate. Like the second you put down your fork, they're like, gone. So now it's obvious that I'm the problem. The only one still eating, guys.
It's not a problem.
It feels like a problem.
Food. I'm sure the chef would be proud.
That I'm a slow eater.
That you're enjoying.
12 of 13 and you had 7. That's
a big
crazy.
Family.
Yeah.
That's a very big family.
That is. Like my mom had trouble keeping track of us. I just mean like anytime she tried to call us, she would like call 3 names before getting to the right one. So I can't imagine how your mother did it. Like that's crazy. And like you're practically cooking for an army at that point.
Yeah.
Like everything, you have to cook in bulk. Yeah. My gosh. That's nuts. Hello, Lima Bean. Nice to see you. So yes, I was running my mouth about Mermaids, the Cher movie that I'm trying to get everyone to watch.
Yeah.
I've made him watch it a few times. You didn't make me
watch it.
Well,
we put it on and I enjoyed it.
You had never seen it.
I've never
under
seen
your own
a lot
steam.
of good movies.
Yes, that is true. We all know who has the good taste in movies in this family.
Yeah, it's not even arguable.
It's not.
No. That's okay.
Yeah. So yes, movies are getting us through these weird quarantine days.
Yeah, they are. I
mean, so is throwing weird mermaid parties. Yeah. Because why not?
Why not?
What else were we gonna do?
Just not have a mermaid party.
That's right. This could have been a boring old, what is this? Wednesday? Yeah, is this Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday day. But no, it's not. It is a mermaid party. Day. Yeah, it's Mermaid Day. That is how we will remember it too. Actually, Sean has been working from home. Is anybody else working from home these days? Or are you still working in your office? We are in Canada, so they have shut down all non-essential businesses.
Yeah. So
but we have also found out that almost everyone in both of our families are essential. we know a lot of essential people, so it's kind of a bummer. Of course, like my sister is a nurse, his sister is a doctor. Or very nearly.
Almost. She would have been officially a doctor in June, which I think is still happening.
Yes.
But it's interfered with her last bit of her residency. So now she's just dealing with patients, I think.
Yes. So they've thrown her right into the fray. Then he's got a brother who is working in like power.
Yeah,
hydro.
He works for Hydro, Hydro One in Ontario. Mm-hmm. So.
And my brother-in-law works for Bell. So people got to have their internets, you know. Your husband is working from home and you already work from home.
Stay-at-home orders for a month. Yeah. We're at a month now.
Yes,
I just realized that today. Mm-hmm. We started working from home on the 16th of March.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm essential, but I'm not able to work from home. So that's kind of a bummer. Yeah. But Sean is a lawyer and he is working from home and helping people who are unemployed, lacking employment, trying to get out of their leases.
Well, trying to pay their rent.
Yeah.
Or ask for extension.
Mm-hmm. These are weird times. And I think you are in just that section of the law that made this necessary.
Yeah, kind of. I I mean, it's not the only one, but it is one of the ones that everyone is trying to figure out right now, lawyers included.
Yeah.
So,
hello to if any of Sean's clients are watching. He doesn't always wear a mermaid hat.
No,
just on special occasions.
Probably realize that. This is probably the first time they see me in a mermaid hat.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do all day long at your office.
Yeah, that's true.
You're working from home too. Yeah, it's nuts. It is crazy out there.
It is.
One of my sisters, I have a lot of sisters, guys. So one of my sisters is actually working for a board of education on their like COVID response team. My other sister is working for the emergency benefit, the COVID emergency benefit. And then my sister, who's a nurse, is working at a COVID assessment center.
Yeah, so your family
somehow my family burrowed right into this weird time. And I'm just sitting at home reviewing movies.
Yeah.
Which is good. At first, like Jana was like, how are you going to do your job if like the movie theaters are closed down? But it turns out that people are watching maybe more movies than ever because you don't have to go out. You can watch them at home, and people are at home. And they need some distractions. We are needing some screen time. We are needing things to keep the kids busy and ourselves. And to, do a little nice escapism from ourselves.
Yeah.
We need it.
We do.
We do. And we need new things to talk about because we have been married too long, guys.
No, we haven't.
Long enough to have told already all our best stories.
I don't know. Well, maybe our best stories.
Well, also, like, we have terrible memories. So if we didn't remember the stories now, we're never going to.
Oh, well, maybe it'll jog our memory and we'll have a whole new one.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what's going to happen.
Maybe that's what's going to happen in this quarantine.
Yeah. We've been married.
9 years.
Oh, he knows.
And 3 months.
Oh!
2 months.
Yeah. Yes. It's not really that long, but it's long enough.
That's a good amount
of time. Yeah. Yeah. Just long enough to be tired of each other.
I'm not tired of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'm a pleasure.
Yes, you are.
So for those of you who are celebrating Easter, what did you guys do? Because my family had a virtual dinner party over Zoom.
Pretty well.
It went pretty well because none of us are really technologically minded. I mean, we weren't sure if my mom would be the loose end, but I guess she's a teacher actually, so she has been learning to do some of this streaming stuff for her kids just in the past few weeks, really. Otherwise, I mean, this poor woman has every virus on the planet. Her laptop is junked all the time.
It is.
I have one sister. She clicks on everything. She clicks on everything, guys. And bye, Nick. You too. Yes. I mean, I don't know how anyone else manages their mothers, but they're problematic on the internet. You did an egg hunt in the house. That's nice. Oh,
2 egg hunts.
Glow in the dark egg hunt. That's
a good idea.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I always we see in TV like outdoor hunts, and like because we're Canadian and it often is still snowing around Easter.
Well, especially if it's an early Easter, yeah.
Yes. I mean, it varies so much. Like we had, when we were little, people don't do this anymore, but we used to wear Easter bonnets, and I had an Easter poncho for looking your best. You know, when it wasn't too cold, it's just a little easy breezy outside, and you want to put only just a nice crocheted poncho over your Easter dress, accent it with an Easter bonnet. Now you're looking good. That's how we knew it was Easter. But yes, we never got to do an Easter egg outside. But I heard my mom did this year. So here's the thing. Sean and I live in Ottawa, Canada, which is the capital of Canada. My mom and 2 of my sisters live in the small town where we grew up. And in fact, one of my sisters bought a house just down the street from my mother. And my other sister would if she
Wants
could.
Yeah.
She lives about 5 minutes away, a 5-minute drive
Too far.
away, and that
Yeah.
is too far.
It's not a big place.
It's a small town. So I guess after Jess's kids woke up, Ben and Ella, you may have seen them on this channel before. They did that jelly bean challenge with us. So Ben and Ella went over and left some eggs for my mom to find outside.
That's nice.
Yeah. It wasn't like super generous, but
Well, they
you know, they were giving up their own chocolates,
Yeah.
guys. So anything I think is nice.
That's a good thought.
So yes, I know they like when we go for our daily walks around the neighborhood, they parade like extra slow in front of each other's houses. They leave like chalk messages on the driveways, and
Yeah,
so it's
that's
good.
really nice.
It is nice, yes. But my other sister lives way out in Fredericton, New Brunswick, one of the maritime provinces. And she's just out there, and it's too far of a drive. It's like what, a 12-hour drive, maybe a little less.
Yeah, it's far. It's probably a little less than that, but
so it's hard
a
to
whole
just
day.
go and send her some chocolate. Really.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify that drive. Although less these days when we have so little going on. Let's be
I
honest.
mean, yeah. Except we're not supposed to drive anywhere.
That's true. Well, we're not even allowed to cross provincial lines anymore.
Yeah.
We have roadblocks up. So, and we live in the capital region. We actually have 2 sister cities that make up the capital region, but they're technically in different provinces. It is just a very short bridge that connects them. It's really a barrier that's in our mind, but not anymore. They have put up actual barriers, and now you have to have a very good reason for crossing that.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
There it is. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think the egg hunt in the dark sounds really fun. I think I'm going to tell my sisters about that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everybody is trying to think of ways to bring a little joy into the house. It's really hard. Like the 2 sisters that live in the small town, they each have 2 kids who are dying because they can't see each other. Those cousins are awfully close. 2 of them are actually in the same kindergarten class. So they're very close.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're really all one big family for the most part.
Yes, that's right. And we miss having them here.
Yeah, we do.
We miss them. And every time we try to like video with them, I mean, they're just frantic.
They're doing too much.
Yeah, they're just trying to show us every like weird thing they've got. Look at this, and you can't really see anything. That's how it is.
Yes.
So it's not super satisfying.
Still nice.
Yeah. And we get lots of nice pictures from my sisters.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And some of them are not so nice. Actually, one of my sisters, and this is hilarious, she has 2 young boys. Yes, exactly. It is so hard. I feel very bad for any parent who is trying to like homeschool right now. I know both of my sisters are struggling with that. And especially like Brady, the older one, he's got like reading and stuff. Like it's hard to do this. And I think the home quarantine is already challenging enough. We don't need any extra stress right now.
No.
But yes, Tessa has 2 boys who are 6 and 8. And how they express their love is by constantly wrestling and hitting each other, which is what boys do.
All the time.
Yes. They are very rambunctious kids. They have a lot of energy. And almost all of their favorite games involve punching. That's not like weird or...
Not that weird.
No, that is how it goes. But when you are trapped in the house, it's getting long. But the funny thing is, and my sister will not think that this is funny, but we sure did. Because I really expected there to be like a big uptick in injuries, especially after that wrestling movie came out on Netflix.
The main event.
Yeah, the main event. Thank you. Which is like family friendly, good for kids little movie about like a little guy who finds a magical mask that makes him like this awesome wrestler. And I thought, oh, Tessa, like for sure after your kids see this, like they are like Brady's been injured but from making his own trampoline. Remember that? He made his own trampoline. So that's the kind of kids they are. So I was like, oh gosh, there's going to be an injury for sure. Like, do what you can to pad the house. But it was Tessa who got injured. She was playing catch with her husband and he beamed her in the eye.
Yeah.
So she had a great big goose egg on her forehead, but she was wearing sunglasses and they cut her right in the eyebrow. So, and of course we're on home quarantine. We're trying to avoid going to the hospital. My other sister is a nurse. So she was like Skyping her, trying to teach her how to glue your eyebrow shut. And that's hard to do online when like she's still bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, it was rough. So Tessa ended up having to go in and get stitches. And she said the ER was like deserted. Nobody was in there. So she got in and out, which is a pretty rare thing. And luckily at the time, like her stitches kind of blended in because it really is right in the line of her eyebrow. So when she had the stitches, it looked not bad. Yesterday, her husband took them out. So that's another fun thing. Fun quarantine activity is removing, first hitting your wife in the face and then removing the stitches.
It's risky.
It's risky. So yeah, she does have a little scar in her eyebrow, but
who will ever know?
Who will ever know? She just needs to get a good brow pencil and I think she'll be okay. Although like a couple of days after the accident, her black eye started coming in, which we didn't see right away. So she was really feeling self-conscious about those like meetings online because it seems like a little bit weird to show up in sunglasses for that. But also she was embarrassed. And I was like, Tessa, you have to just come up with a better story. Like there has to be a better, like we are living in these weird quarantine times. You need to come up with a better story than like, I didn't catch the ball or I caught it with the wrong part of my body. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas, please submit them.
We'll pass them along.
We will send a prize if she selects any of your stories. Yes. So that is fun times. Fun times.
Yeah. Quarantine times.
Yes. So has anyone else watched a good movie that you would recommend to us? Because we're going through shows and
I
movies.
think we've seen everything on Netflix now.
Every single thing. We may have seen every single thing. But you know what? They're always adding and subtracting, so it's hard to keep track. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of what's on there. And also
it's different in every country. So
yeah, that's really the mystifying thing is I'm finding even some of the Netflix originals, which I would assume since it's it's not.
You think it's their thing. It could be everywhere.
It should be across the board. So it's weird when those aren't released.
It is. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. And some places still don't have Netflix.
Yeah, which is hard to believe at this point.
Yeah.
It's just so ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least here. Like everyone, I think. Everyone we know has Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Legacies.
Okay. I haven't noticed that one.
Good.
So we'll check it out.
Good. I'm terrible with titles. That's why I always ask Sean, like, we could have been watching Legacies 3 hours ago and I would not know if we had seen it.
It's true.
I'm terrible. I never know the title I'm talking about. This is I write movie reviews. We do not just do this on YouTube. We've only just started doing it this year on YouTube because our 6-year-old nephew is like super into YouTube. So we're just trying to impress him.
That's right. Yeah.
Really, like we're just old people who don't really understand this. But I am a movie critic in my real life. Hunters.
Oh, Hunters
on Prime.
We haven't seen that yet.
No, but I've heard good things about that one.
That's Al Pacino with their Nazi hunters, right? I think.
You better hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Uh-huh. But I have heard good things about that one, so that should go on our list too.
Done.
Thank you, Ray. What was I saying? Oh, that I can't remember titles. Okay, full disclosure. I can't even remember what I was talking about. It is that one.
Okay, good.
You're on the right track.
Well, that's what I'm thinking of. So
good.
Great.
Yes. I have a problem, not just with movies, but with also books.
Yeah, you'll reread.
I read a lot because I'm an insomniac. That is what insomniacs do. No, well, that's what I do.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. So I read like 20 books a month.
Yeah.
So, and I read them when I'm like super, super tired.
Somehow you just keep going. Oh, I'll read a book if I'm tired. I'm gonna get 3 pages in. But you'll read for 2 hours.
7 hours.
Oh, 7. Yeah.
Yes. No, I just mean like when you're like sleep deprived, your memory doesn't work right. So
Oh.
no wonder I don't remember what I have and haven't read.
There
Like
you go.
that's not my fault.
Nope.
It's not my fault at all.
No, it's not. Who said it was?
Now I have no excuse for not remembering movie titles.
Don't you?
You know, it is my job, so you would think I would be better at that, but no. Every
write them down.
movie review that I write, and I write one every day for our site, I have to have IMDb open to remember the title and who is that guy who's in that movie.
Well, you're pretty good with picking people out.
Yes, I'm better at that.
I struggle at that.
Yeah, you do. But I have a problem when like somebody has the same first name or something. I get those confused. So I have to be like, which Tom is this?
Yeah.
And like, really, there's a Tom Holland and a Tom Hollander. That's not fair.
Oh, that's not fair.
You're trying to trip me up with that. Like, that is just not cool, guys. And yet, it happens.
They did it.
They did it. They allowed that.
Yeah, they allowed it. That's right.
I think one of you needs to be a Peter.
We should write to the Illuminati.
What an excellent suggestion.
Yeah. Just send them an
email. Yeah. Will you get on top of that?
Okay.
How about?
I will.
How's your hat doing you?
I think it's okay.
Oh, good.
It's just
your mermaid tail?
It's kind of falling back a bit, as tails do.
As tails do. They do get tired.
Yeah.
Yes. We loved being mermaids when we were kids. We always pretended to be mermaids in our pool.
Okay.
And we didn't have a fancy pool growing up. We had
keep
an
your
above
legs
ground.
together. What's pretend to be a mermaid?
Well, I mean, it was more like fantasy than.
So the attitude.
Yes. Well, obviously we were all beautiful, buxom little girls.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you know, Ariel has 6 sisters.
That's right. Although you never see them, I don't think.
Yeah, you do.
Do you?
Yeah. There's a big concert at the beginning of the thing, and Ariel is supposed to be like revealed to the not the townspeople, but the sea, the kingdom, the undersea. Yes, exactly. And assorted crabs.
Yeah, the talking crabs.
Yeah.
Talking fish.
Yeah, that's right. So you do know this. And so during the song, like all of the other sisters get like one note to sing.
Okay.
And they all have like corresponding bra, tail, hair, whatever. Ariel is the only one that doesn't match that way.
Oh.
But whenever they open her big clamshell and she's supposed to go out, get out and have her big shining moment, she's not there.
Oh,
she's not there.
She's doing other things.
Yeah, she's off pining for a prince.
Okay.
As you do.
Well, why not?
Yeah. I mean, we did. Oh, God.
Prince Eric?
No. I'm not a Prince Eric girl. And I don't think Ariel should be either. I loved that movie growing up. Now that I am a grown woman, like, you should not fall in love with the first human you've ever seen.
Good rule. You
can't decide to marry someone you've never spoken to.
Good rule.
And it's not even your species.
Very good rule.
And then she gives up everything about herself. Her home, her ability to go to that home, her family.
But she can't ever go back.
Well, I mean, she's human. So it's like I
thought she could change. I thought she had the option of putting that mermaid tail back on.
Oh, no. Oh, no, dear.
Okay.
This shit was permanent. She ain't got gills anymore. I mean, you never see gills to begin with, right?
No, you don't. I mean, they're not.
Gills are not sexy. No. We learned that in, what's that fish movie?
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. That's right. Not that sexy, although there's someone for everyone. God. It's true, though.
Yeah,
even he got a date.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I'm not negging on Prince Eric. He's totally fine for a white guy, but she didn't know the least thing about him. Even by the end of the movie, we don't know that he's a nice guy. We don't know anything.
No, we don't.
He's a prince. And she thinks he's handsome. What does she know?
Yeah, well, she doesn't have anyone to compare him to.
I mean, sure, he was the handsomest thing on a boat The handsomest sailor. The handsomest sailor, guys. That is a way low bar.
True.
Mm-hmm. She should have maybe shopped around her options a little bit.
Yeah, she could have waited for the boat from the perfect storm.
Oh boy. And I'm sure there were plenty of handsome mermen.
Do we see King Triton? Do we see any other ones?
And he was ripped.
He was, that's true. He's got a very white beard, but yes.
But he is still pulling it in. Yeah. He's ready to fight. Well, you don't need to fight when you have the golden Triton.
That's true.
Trident.
It's magic too, right? You did say. But
well, magic, yeah.
Isn't it magic?
Well, I guess.
Or he's magic or something?
Something in there is magic.
Someone's magic. Mermaids are magic generally.
Did you see Little Mermaid? No, you didn't see Little Mermaid growing up.
No, I watched it with you for the first time. So a few years ago. Yeah, I didn't watch it. It was a girl movie.
I hate when people say that.
I know.
And hello, hi, thanks for being here. I really hate that because we have little nephews. We have mostly nephews and a few nieces. And they definitely, like all of your little girl life, you have to put up with all kinds of boy stories. When I was a kid, we loved playing Ninja Turtles, but the boys would never let me be a turtle. I always had to be stupid April.
Yep. She's the only girl.
But see, girls always have to take the boy stories. But boys will not accept a girl story. But we always have to watch boy stories.
Yes.
Everything is always about boys. And even when they have a girl story, like the Little Mermaid, she's got a bird boy who's a friend. She's got a bird crab as a friend. Yeah. She's got Prince Eric. Her everything that surrounds her has to be a boy.
Right.
To try to bring in the boy. Frozen has Olaf and Sven and Kristoff.
Yeah.
Just to try to
around and trying to entertain little me.
Little you. Yes. Hello. We're having a mermaid party. Cheers to you. Thank you for being here. It's just water, actually. We should have done better. Yeah. My gosh. Yes, always the damsel in distress. I hate that. I like a damsel who creates distress.
Oh, yeah. Like April O'Neil.
I don't know about that, but she seemed to get kidnapped a lot.
She did, actually. She was a very important reporter.
And all girl journalists are always getting kidnapped. What was that in?
That was in Love, Wedding, Repeat.
That's right. That's right. There's Olivia Munn plays a war journalist in that movie. And I think she's in Afghanistan, maybe, and she gets kidnapped. This is not in the movie at all. It's a throwaway line. Yeah. But the guy she's telling this to, who is like the most socially awkward man you've ever met, is just like, oh, so you're not a very good one then, are you? Yeah. Like, if you were any good, you wouldn't have gotten kidnapped. Which, I don't know. I'm not sure if that holds salt, but he felt it was a valid point.
He did feel it was worth
I felt a little bad.
For him?
No, not for him. But yes, we loved Little Mermaid growing up. We were later, actually, a lot of movies we loved growing up. Like, I remember asking one Christmas for E.T., which again, to me, was a new movie. And then I realized much, much later that it's from the early 80s.
84, like 83, I think. Yeah.
And I probably got it, well into the 90s.
Yeah.
But it might've been like a new push because now it's on VHS. But I'd never seen the movie. So to me, it was a new movie.
That was one of the first ones that really was like a VHS for sale. So,
I see. So yes. So Little Mermaid was like that too. I think we were surprised later on to find out that 1987. Yeah. So yeah, it was always there. I guess it feels like it was just always there.
Well, and that's Disney movies generally. Maybe less so now, but when they used to just be re-released in the theater.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I went to the theater to see Bambi.
E.T. stuffed alien.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
I ate a lot of Reese's Pieces.
Yes.
It's
Or peanut butter M&Ms, as Jack would call them.
Oh, yeah, he would call them that. And has.
Yes.
Yeah, so I saw Bambi in the theater, saw Snow White in the theater. I don't know.
We
all
saw
sorts
Jungle
of
Book.
And you had no concept of this movie being from 1939 or whatever it was.
It's true, because they just kept things in the vault.
Yeah.
And like when you were little anyways, you didn't even have VCRs yet.
No. Well,
that's crazy.
We rented them from time to time.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
The video store is a huge deal, but we got a VCR eventually. Grandma actually bought our first VCR for us.
Aw.
And before that,
his grandma, by the way, guys, his grandma just turned 97 like a week ago, right before Easter. 97.
She's bought us a lot of stuff. She bought us her first
She's been
computer.
alive for 90.
Yeah.
She did?
Yeah,
Your
she did.
first computer?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had the wrong grandma.
Yeah, you did.
My grandma gave us a subscription to TV Guide.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
Actually, my grandma gave me something even better. She gave us our library membership.
Oh, that's a good
because
one.
we didn't live in town, so you had to buy into the in-town system.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Be Kind Rewind. That's exactly it. The stickers on everything.
On everything. Oh, those were the good old days. I mean, I was alive in the time of videotapes and going to the movie store, which was like part of your weekend plans. We're like, well, first we got to go to Blockbuster. Or we had Jumbo Video too.
We had Jumbo.
And Jumbo Video had a gumball machine where if you got a black gumball, you got a free movie.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I never went to Jumbo Video.
I guess not. But they did also have free popcorn, yes. So it was an exciting time. Yeah. And I mean, you'd go in and like, we are a family of 6. How do you get a family of 6 to agree on one movie?
You don't.
You don't. I mean, you couldn't even get us to agree on a bag of chips. And then we'd go to the pop shop where you could like bottle your own soft drink. And then we had to agree on a flavor. Oh boy, we had to agree on a lot of things when we were kids. It was rough going. That's why all my sisters each had just 2 kids, because now you could just buy them each a bag of chips and there's no fights.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did you guys decide on what movie to watch when you were kids?
Well, we just got 3 or 4 of them.
That's what the rich people did.
The rich kids did. It solved all the problems.
And you could just watch that many in a weekend.
Yeah, because you get them for 3 days.
Yeah, that's true. Back then you did.
Yeah, we'd each, I mean, Brian and I would agree.
Oh.
That was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michelle and Graham would get one, and my parents would usually pick one out, and we'd watch them all.
All right. Yeah. Well, we would not get through that many movies. Although sometimes if we liked a movie, we might watch it more than once. Yeah. Like before you let this go. And that was the same because you could also rent video games.
That's right.
Back in the day.
You could. What
a wonderful time.
Yeah, those sometimes you could get those for a week.
You did. But we were so terrible at video games, guys. What video guys did you guys grow up with? What games did you grow up with? Because what would you say is like
Super Mario.
Super Mario, okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
You played that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never, because we only had like Nintendo, and that's like Sega or something.
It's Sega. Okay. Yeah, Sega Genesis.
We only did Nintendo. We were so bad, guys. We were so bad. Jess and I were just talking about that, how terrible we were. Because she got her kids a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and then they got some new games for Easter. And she didn't think that her 6-year-old son could do it. Of course, her 6-year-old son is better than his father.
He's the best in the house,
and even the 4-year-old daughter is picking it up. Yeah. So they can both play it.
Fine.
They're fine. We did not get it. We were so bad. We only had like 3 games in the history of the world. So
2 of them came with it.
Yeah. So the first one was like, hello, burn bright. Okay, you liked it. At the 96 point score. Excellent. Right. Very good. Yes. I picked up a lot of cheap movies that way at Blockbuster during its very last days, because you could buy like a rental. You could buy a used.
You could for like a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 2 for $10. Well, they had different prices.
Yes.
They were cheap.
Yes, because I was watching a lot
Tekken
of
and Mortal
movies.
Kombat. Yeah, definitely played that. So that was another thing about the Sega Genesis.
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat had blood. If you got on the Super Nintendo, it was just like green. No, it was sweat. But you could, I think, turn it into a blood with a code.
Oh.
Oh, Atari. I was a little too young for an Atari. I
Mhm.
wanted one. Some of my friends had one as a kid.
Yeah, you guys were, your parents didn't let you get a game for a
Sega
while.
Genesis was the first one we were allowed to get. That was like when I was 15 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was late.
Woo.
We were late to the party.
You were late. And you made up for lost time.
Oh, yeah. Once we got it, everything my parents were afraid of came true. We just played it all the time.
Yes.
They still have Blockbuster in Alaska.
I heard that. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they have so little up there, you know.
Yeah, it's just interesting of just how Blockbuster disappeared seemingly overnight in Canada.
Thanks for dropping in, guys. Yes, it's totally over here. I mean, for a while there were a few like little corner stores that still could rent.
Yeah.
And I even was getting in the early days of Netflix, they sent you a DVD in the mail.
That's right. That was how Netflix started. It was a rental service.
I hope it's good, Ray. Thanks for being here. Enjoy. It started as a rental service, and I think it still is in the States. Not here anymore.
No, they canceled it here.
Yeah. You just put down your wish list, and they would send you the ones that you didn't really want.
You mail it back.
And then you'd mail it back. Can you imagine that? And that was not that long ago, but it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a long time for Netflix.
Things have changed.
And now they're like making Oscar-winning movies.
Yes. They were not doing that at the time.
No. I think all of the executives of Blockbuster are kicking themselves saying, we could have done that. Like they were just not thinking, they were not changing with the times.
No, they had their thing they were going to keep doing forever. And
and guess what? Forever ended.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I think a lot of movie studios are having to rethink things right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting
You know what?
comes out of this.
Yes, because all the cinemas here in North America really are closed. So how are we going to get these movies out to the people? Because we still want to watch movies, that's for sure.
We need them.
We need them right now so bad. We need something to make the hours go by and something to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Oh my goodness. So yes, we rented Trolls World Tour. So that came out Friday. Like Good Friday. And so it was a home premiere. So it should have been being released in theaters. Instead, they released it to our home, and you could pay $20 to rent it. So we did. Yeah, I mean, of course we did. We are movie reviewers. We were always, we see everything. We see things we know we shouldn't. We saw Doolittle, guys. Did you see our review of Doolittle? Because we saw Doolittle, even though we knew it was a do-don't. It was a don't-little, but we did it. We did it anyways. And, you know, it's not like bad in a way that makes you angry or like, you know, and I think kids, some people will be able to like it. Hello. Some people will like it, and that's okay. I hope you like it, especially if you're spending money to like it, then I hope you enjoy it. But it has some problems. So I can see why it was not getting great reviews. And again, Trolls World Tour is not the best movie ever made, but it is a good option, especially if you have kids. If they liked the first one, this definitely follows the formula.
Yeah.
Yes, we often do. Yes. Yes. And thank you for knowing that. I appreciate it. You know, we, in other years, not this year so far, and who knows, we go to all the film festivals. So TIFF is the really big one, the Toronto International Film Festival, where a lot of movies go to get qualified for doing an Oscar run later on. And they screen hundreds of movies. And we spend like 7 to 10 days there. And I will just watch movies
like
back to back to back to back to back. And some of them are real hard to get through. Not necessarily because they're bad, although I have occasionally seen some bad ones, but sometimes they're just not my cup of tea. And sometimes they're quite scary, which we have already established that I'm a huge chicken. And like Sean comes with, Matt comes with, but I'm like an accredited movie journalist. So I get to go to the press screenings and they don't.
Just go to the public.
They go to the public ones, which are actually the fun ones to go to because all the stars come and they have like big red carpets. And Sean actually spends a lot of time on the red carpets getting pictures of everybody.
I try. Yeah.
You have done so well. And like Sean will upload those to Twitter as he's doing it. And you get such big hits sometimes, huge numbers of people, because people know like this movie is coming out today. So to watch for it.
Close. It's really good.
You've had some good success, but you've been patient and you get in, and you're very
well,
tall.
You have to go.
You're
I'm
very tall, which helps.
I go early. I wait there for a while.
Yes. Yes. That's the thing that people don't tell you about going to movie festivals is that a lot of it is just lining up. Because even like for the press screenings, you line up and they don't have enough seats for everyone. So there were a couple of really big movies at the festival this year, like Joker and Jojo Rabbit. And people were like, and they had like 3 theaters full and people, they were still turning people away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were a few of those movies because you can rush, which means you just don't have a ticket. You line up, and if anyone like a VIP usually doesn't show up, then you can get in. And they always have a few. Mm-hmm. A few people will get in even if it's sold out.
Yeah.
So for, I think it was Joker, for one of the movies, people waited like all day.
Yeah.
Like 16 hours in line to see if they could get in. Mm-hmm. And not all of them did.
No.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is. But I got to see everything. Oh, Knives Out was another really big one. I got to see everything. And I got to see Jojo Rabbit with Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you've run into stars. Ooh, who have you met?
That's good.
Yes. Sean, I always have to tell him when we have run into someone because he can't really notice people. No, he's a hard time. Like, and he might be like, that guy's familiar. I wonder if I worked with him once.
Yeah, that's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, it's probably someone that I knew as a kid or something.
Yeah. Yes. You are not good at that.
No, I'm not.
But I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. So.
Well, when I wait in line to get the photos, they're the people there that sell autographs. Mm-hmm. They know everyone.
Yes.
They all talk. They'll all be like, oh, Jack Black, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Jack Black was around, they would all know. They'd be like, yeah, he's at this restaurant. And they would all just run and go wait at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a thing. I like Jack Black. In the beginning, I wasn't sure about Jack Black, but one of my friends told me that Jack Black is just the male me. So I decided I better start liking him. The Rock? What the heck, buddy? That's awesome. You do have good luck. Yeah. Where are you hanging out all the time? Wow. The Rock. I mean, you would know him. That guy is hard to mistake for anyone else. Yeah, that's right. And I mean, he is everywhere these days.
Yes, he is.
I'm trying to think. He is in that wrestling movie we were just talking about.
Yeah, the Fighting with My Family.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And then he was in Jumanji.
Yes.
Recently. Anything else that you can think of that he was in? Somewhat recently.
Not of a new movie.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to wait because
Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Cruise one with what's her face?
Emily Blunt.
Thank you. The lovely Emily Blunt, who I really adore, actually. The Jungle Cruise movie got pushed back a whole year. Yeah. It was supposed to come out this July, and now it'll be July 2021. So that's kind of a bummer.
It is. Mm-hmm. It'll be good. It'll be entertaining.
Yes. Well, I am just fascinated by the fact that Disney thinks it can just make movies out of rides. Like, really, who would? I mean, yes, they can. We already buy it because they've done it super successfully. But I find that such a weird idea. Like, who was the first person to propose doing that?
I believe it was Johnny Depp.
Okay, fine. But I mean, I guess they have so many rides based on their movies that somebody was just like, why not do the inverse? But I also think it's weird that Disney has so many rides that are not about their movies or shows.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, why did you do any rides that are just,
I don't know.
It's weird. But I guess when the first park opened, it was 1955 or something.
Yeah, so they didn't have a huge
So they didn't have that big of a catalog at the time.
They were also, I don't think Walt Disney was trying to tie it into the movie specifically. just we watched I think it's the Imagineers on Disney Plus, which is an interesting series if you're looking at how the
love
parks are
behind the
developed.
scenes
And
stuff.
for that one, there's so many rides there that you've never heard of because they disappeared 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. And how many rides that they made for the World's Fair and then they brought into their parks.
That's right.
So of course those are not Disney branded necessarily. Like
No.
It's a Small World,
Yeah.
which is now like a very
classic.
iconic, and God bless us all if they ever turned that into a movie. Sean and I got stuck on It's a Small World once when we were in Disney World.
It's painful.
And we were there with my sister and her husband. Coming soon, the Matterhorn. Yeah. We can't trust them. You never know. Like, that could be a real thing any day. Just hold on to your hats. We'll know you said it first.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were there with my sister and her husband. And at the time, their one and only son, Brady, who was like 17 months. Yeah. And they were sitting right behind us in the boat float thing. And we just got stuck. And here's the thing, guys, when you get stuck on the ride, they don't turn the music off. No. They do not turn the music off. You just sit there and hear the song on a loop, but you are not moving.
Yeah, and it's a pretty repetitive song, but it's even worse when it's just the same set of voices singing it. Because at least as you go through the areas, it changes a bit. It changes
a little bit. Yeah.
Not when you're sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Looking back, it seems that we were only there like less than 10 minutes.
Oh, it sounds.
But like in my memory, it was like 40.
And all the boats are piling up behind us, so it's just like more and more people, and you kind of feel like, should we just make a run for it?
Yeah, but do you want to be the first one? No. You're going to Disney jail.
Yeah.
And our poor nephews are so worried about going to jail.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if their parents have been feeding them some like little white lies. But you want to get Fudge? She's knocking on the door. That's one of our 3 dogs. That's Fudgy. He likes to invite himself in by knocking on the door. He's weird like that. But yes, we had our nephew and our niece, so there's 4 of them all together. We had them up, and they were discussing whether you could get arrested for saying a swear word. And Brady, the oldest one, was saying funk a lot. Funk. And his brother was so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, we were in a minivan. So how the police would be knowing that we were even saying words that were adjacent to the really bad swear word. I mean, Jack claimed to not even know what the bad word was. He claimed he didn't even know it. Although he did know that Brady was getting dangerously close to it. And they were so worried that the cops would come and arrest them.
Yeah, they were.
So, yeah, they were a little confused as to the difference between things that are bad and things that are illegal, and just what you can get arrested for. But also, if there's something you can get arrested for by the Disney cops, these boys will find it.
They would, yeah. Not even intentionally.
Oh, no. I mean, they're very good kids, but they touch everything, and they're boisterous and playful, and it's a good time that way. So Fudgy came to say hello. Hi, Fudgy. Now are you being shy?
Oh, now he's under the table.
Yeah. Here he is. There's Fudgy. Hi, buddy. Did you come for cupcakes? Oh, thank you.
Hi, buddy.
Yes, this is our little Yorkie, Fudgy. He's actually a middle-aged man. I know he looks very cute. At Toontown now. Yeah, it's true. It's it's a risk. Hi, Fudgy. You made an escape, eh? You left your brothers downstairs? Fudgy thinks he owns this house.
Yeah, he came with it.
Well, he did, actually. We did get Fudgy. We adopted Fudgy the same day we adopted this house. One we went through the bank for. But Fudgy, yes. So we already had 2 dogs when we got Fudgy, and we moved here, and the other 2 dogs were like, oh, I guess another dog just lives here. And so they accepted him into the troop.
They did.
Yes. Well, yeah, the other dogs, we have 2 other dogs right now, Herbie and Bronx, and they're both Shih Tzus. So Fudgy is a little bit smaller than the average Shih Tzu, even though he's a big Yorkie.
He's a big Yorkie.
He thinks he's a big guy, and he likes to show me his vicious teeth. It is the most adorable thing. Like, I trained it for him to do it like as a trick, but he thinks he's super intimidating when he does it. And I try not to let him know that it's actually adorable. Hi, Fudgy. Did you say everyone? Did you say hi? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Fudgy is actually like a super anxiety dog.
Very much.
Yeah. So he likes that we're hanging around home a lot more lately.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he can finally be comfortable. All right. Are we ready to say goodbye?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you so
everyone.
much for watching, everyone. Bye. Are you sure you want to end the stream?
Are you sure?